Hello and welcome out to this week's episode of Outbreak Gamers. I'm your host, WebDave, David Anthony, big fat guy in a chair, whatever you want to call me. I answer to anything pretty much. And I am very pleased to have with me Shaan786. Shaan, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Dave? You good?
I'm I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And
First of all, let me just give a shout out to you for, let me be on the show.
well, it's my pleasure that you're here, man. I appreciate that. I didn't go over this with you at the beginning of the show. Usually I do, but I've got this ticker. Let me know if it looks all right. If I need to change it, I will.
It sounds good. Listen, this is podcast. We do a lot of things on the go. When something happens,
We
we just
do.
do it. It looks good
It's
to
kind
me.
of
It
go with
looks
the
good.
flow. Yeah,
It could be a
exactly.
bit green, if you know what I mean.
I get you. I get you. I get you. That was one of the things. I'm gonna put that title card back up for just a second. We were doing the title card approval, and he said, "Maybe if you make the letters green," and I'm like, "Yeah, that makes sense because we bleed green."
Of course
Yeah,
it
there we
does.
go. There we go. I love it. I love it. All right,
No, I
so
love
let's
it. I
see.
love the input. I love what you give. Like, you give me a choice. You said, listen, Sean, if you're happy with it, just take a look at it. We can tweak it. And I said, yeah, just a little bit here. Boom. It was done. So it looks great.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Well, it's I want to make sure the guests are comfortable, and once in a blue moon, I may misspell something, or I may or I may have something like off that they're like, oh, I don't really do that anymore. Let's do this. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So you just never know. So this is our
You
chance
never
to get
know.
to know you, and that's exactly what we want to do today. So I guess first question I always like to ask people just to kind of warm them up and get them started is, what was the first job that you ever had? Like, if you could think back that far.
In fact, the first job I ever had, I would say milk round. So what I was doing on the weekends or just in the evening, just
Hmm.
if someone down the road from me, he used to own like a milk round. So we used to go collect the money. That's what we used to do, or drop milk off. And we
Mm,
were just kids. We're like 10 years old, maybe. Honestly,
yeah.
10 years old, jumping on back of a truck, milk one, going down to certain houses, and the guy would say, "This house, such a number, 28. This person owes £1.50." Because obviously back then it was much cheaper the prices.
Yeah.
Uh, this person owns this much. It owes this much. So that was one of the first jobs I remember getting like £1 or £2, which maybe back then for you guys it might have been like $5 maybe because the
Right.
currency was much stronger when it came to the British pounds.
Hmm.
But it's not the same now. But it was like about $4 or $5, so it was okay. It was a good run for us kids.
Oh, definitely. I mean, anything you can do to to get started and stuff. It's just I worked for my dad for a while, and did other odd jobs and things like that. Mow a yard here and there, those kind of things for extra money, and then eventually got
Yeah,
into
that
a
started
routine.
first. 100% that started first. But just what you mentioned about your dad, my dad had a taxi base as
Oh,
well,
nice.
uh, and a snooker place as well, and a garage. So throughout the years, so I was more or less in the family business as well
Yeah,
when I was
yeah, and
when I
that's
was younger, just growing up. So we'll definitely talk about it.
yeah, yeah, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that because that's you got everybody starts somewhere, and I was just curious as to as to how things got going for you. So I guess let's get into let's get into gaming. So what
Mm.
for you? What was your first, I guess, experience with games, gaming, video games? Was it arcade, PC? What was it for you?
So for me, what I remember, the first gaming experience was console. And the first one, this was like back in 92 or 93 it was. So I'm 36 years old, so I was 5 or 6 years old at the time. The first console I've experienced, never owned, but experienced, was the Sega Master System. That was the first console. And in the UK, it was a bit different. I'm not sure if it was the same for the States, because I know it came out 5, 6 years, like 87 or something, the Sega Master System, I believe. It came with a
Hmm.
pre built in game. It was either Sonic the Hedgehog or Alex Kidd. It was between them two games. That's what I remember. But obviously, the first game wasn't there. It was Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's cool. That's cool. So, I mean, did you get yourself a system, or was it just like was it just a family gift, or
So
how did
this
you?
was so it was my first cousin. So his uncle. So a lot of people don't know, like when it comes to like me, I'm the first generation when in the UK. My parents and my obviously my uncles, cousins, they all came from Pakistan, and they got themselves here back in late 60s and 70s. So one of my first cousin uncles, he was one of them guys who like kind of made it, went to the universities. You know, like one of the first ones made it. So he's the one that got the consoles. So the consoles, there was a few because they had two. There was two types of Sega Master System. There was a big one and a small one as well. The Sega Master System 2, which was smaller. The old one was with the red and black, the long one. So it was him. He had it for his nephew. So I used to go over to my first cousin brother's house and play Sega Master System there. And Sonic was one of the first games I ever played and completed.
There you go. There you go. So, I guess as you were growing up, I mean, did you like, you know, were you like, oh, I need one of these, or did you save up your money and buy
Yeah.
one yourself, or you know,
So
what was your evolution in gaming from there?
yeah, so it was after a few years after that, like I say, like around about 95. So we were about 8 years old. So my cousins, obviously, we weren't in the best position at the time, weren't really rich and stuff like that. But the cousins were very fortunate; they had the Master System. So when the transition came for them guys, my other cousin brothers, they moved to the Mega Drive, aka the Sega Genesis, and we got the Sega Master System off them. Cost around about £9, 8 9 pounds, and it must have been like $25 or something at the time if I compared the currency back then. That's how
Hmm.
we got our Sega Master System. It was about 8 9 pounds. Me and my brothers scrambling for money, going to
Yeah.
the cushion side of the couch, 20p here, 50p
Yeah.
here. Going to my mum's purse or pocket. Might
Hmm.
have taken a few pennies there without knowing.
It
And we got the
happens.
Sega Master System. That's how it started.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that was such a great console, man. It had so many good games. Plus, too, it was it was very reliable. I thought it was a big
Incredible.
step up from Atari. So from the old from the old days of
The
Atari has
old school.
definitely a big step up. So yeah. And if you notice, I did we did tweak the show. It's now in green. So there
I
you
can
go.
see it. It's green. I love it.
Just for you, buddy. Just for you.
I love it.
Cool. So I guess from there, as you were, you say, so, all right, so you say you were the your first to be in England, raised in England.
Yeah.
So what was
Yeah,
that?
the
What
first
was
gen.
that like for you? Is that, I mean, and I don't want it's hard times, whatever. I don't want to go down a bad path,
No, it was
but is there,
different.
was it, what was this? I'm sure it was an experience that I haven't had. So what was that like for you
Yeah.
being
It it was okay because where I live, this ain't like when London's different because it's a lot of mixed race, and so where I
hmm
live is it's a town called Blackburn, a small town. So a lot of people whoever came from Pakistan and India, they kind of migrated here in this town called Blackburn, and it was like growing in the local community. It was Pakistani and Indians
hmm
growing up with a community. So obviously the culture was still kind of the same.
nice.
Everybody talked the same. Well, obviously English wasn't their first language, so I speak two languages. So growing up, listening to different languages, speaking different languages, and growing up in a community, it was nice because it felt because as it's different because I was growing up in the 90s. It was a totally different ball game. Our
hmm
parents, what they used to do, Dave, get outside. Don't play
Yeah.
inside. Go play outside. You want to piss
hmm
about? Go piss about. That's how.
Yep.
That's how it was. I'm crazy. I'm shocked like how we don't let even our kids, like my kids. No, you're not going outside there. Chill out, relax. We were like 4 or 5 years old. 3 to 5 years old. Get outside, go play. Because obviously, back then there wasn't a lot of cars.
Right.
Minimum cars back then, especially in the town. I got videos as well. It's like per household, everybody has 2 3 cars over here now. But back then, one car, couple of spaces, one car, couple of spaces, and you know what it's like because the unity was much stronger then. When the family came over, when we were growing up, they had to stick together. They were living like my dad and his lot. There was 10 to 12 people in one house, 15 people sometimes in one house.
hmm
And that's how they used to live because that's the only people they knew. They only could speak a certain language. English came later, but that was the only they didn't understand the English language, understand the the culture in England. So growing up,
Mhm.
when they came like 10, 15 of them in one house and working in factories, so it was good. I'll be honest with you, because the unity was much stronger then. Because all
Mhm.
of the family just knew each other. We didn't know nobody else. Didn't know anything about like the maybe the culture as well. Whilst growing up, we just knew go outside, play with your cousins, your first
Yeah.
cousins, because that's how we all grew up. Because everybody was together then. But as
Yeah.
time goes on, Dave, your brothers, your sisters, you kind of get spaced out. They're doing their own stuff, own shit.
Yep.
Your cousins, your first cousins. So the game changes. Everyone kind of spreads out. But growing up, it was really good on that. But it were tough times. The household. It was tough times, to be honest,
Yeah.
compared to my
Yeah.
cousins. I would say.
Well, and it seems that too that kind of brings a good strong family sense, because you got each other's back, kind of thing, and that's and
Hundred
that's and
percent.
that's good too. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
six of us. There's five brothers, including myself and one sister. So there's
Mhm.
six of us in
Wow.
total. So growing up in a two-bedroom house, do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I
Yeah. Oh,
remember
yeah, that
like
sounds crazy. Yeah.
it was crazy. It's like when you're kids, you have like there's like three, four brothers in a bathtub. It's like it
Yep.
was a lot of
Yep.
fun because that's how you used to do it back then. And
Yes. Yeah.
just growing up, and obviously one sister, she kind of had her own kind of room or separate corner, but it was crazy because I remember as time was going on, you growing up, like this was like in 2007, 2006. There was still like five of us in one bedroom, five brothers
Yeah.
in one
Yeah.
bedroom, two bunk beds, a single bedroom for my eldest brother. So growing up is you understand, like you said, you understand the hard times, you appreciate the hard times,
Mhm.
and me and my brothers like we talk about it sometimes when someone brings up. I remember there was no hot water for 3 to 5 months at home.
Wow.
You know, so we were basically my dad used to get a canister for the gas cooker, get a big
Mhm.
pan, fill it with hot water, boil it with hot water, pour it in the bucket, mix the cold water, one big bucket, and that's how it was back then. And so I understand my upbringing, I will never forget it, and that's what makes me who I am today. I understand where I
Yeah.
come from. I'm not better than nobody else. Other people out there who have it worse.
Yeah.
But I'm very fortunate that I'm here right now in a good position. Family's in a good position, got kids, wife, so I can't
Yeah.
complain right now. If I had to
Yeah.
change anything, no. That's what makes you. Either it
Yes.
breaks you or makes you, and
Right.
that's what made me understanding that you know what, don't judge someone because they like I drive buses for a living. When I see
Mhm.
people, I still see the struggle now. When they can't pay for a fare, I'm like shit. Do you know what I mean? When the card gets declined, when they're
Yeah.
looking in the bank and I look like the show, I got money in my bank. I got $2 in my bank for a pound fare. I'm like, it's it. It's never easy for people seeing people in that position, and I know I've been
Right.
there. So I'm very
Yes.
fortunate where I'm at right now.
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome. It does definitely give you a better perspective on life, and the appreciation for the things that you earn and deserve. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's not just in America, but there are some people, certain quote unquote, classes that they have it
Hmm.
really easy. You know what I mean? And it's like if you get everything handed to you and you get it, it's it tends to really form your opinion of others, which is unfortunate, like you said, in kind of a negative way, because everybody's got to eat, sleep, breathe, breed. Everybody does that. So it's like you're no different than me no different than you,
Hundred
no
percent.
matter what your culture are back like. Everybody gets up in the mornings and takes a deep breath, kind of thing. So it's you have to be, I guess, mindful and appreciative, and I guess open to to the people that are around you. Um, and
I agree.
what's kind of I think it's kind of strange is that like we'll kind of get into a little bit of it now, maybe more of it later, well, definitely later, because it's kind
Oh
of a big
yeah.
part of your show. But like some of the console war mentality, it's like,
Mm.
I get the whole, but sometimes it's like, it's just a game. It's just you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
We're having fun playing games. It's
I'm funny.
entertainment. Yeah, and but some people get so bent out of shape, and to be honest, you and Dirt have really, come across a it's funny, and I get it, because
That's what we try
I've
to do.
talked to Dirt before interview and you
Yeah.
that it's like some people they just they think it's just you being mean and picking up. It's like it's humor about the situation that we're in because we find it funny that it's what in the world are you people thinking, kind of thing. So
100%. I'm with you. We definitely talk more about it later in the show.
yeah, yeah. So I guess with the with the gaming and everything, your situation. So I guess did you at one point did you I guess were you I guess on your own or schooling or was it when when you got your first place with your with your wife, was it like did you were like I want to have a console, I want a PC, I want when did you get into the to more and more because obviously you have a PC, you're on one right now, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
when did those kind of transition for you?
So, so the game has always been there from the Sega Master System, and
Hmm.
it came really quick because the consoles were out then. The Super Nintendo was out. The PlayStation was coming out then.
Hmm.
N64. So I was very fortunate. My second eldest brother, he was getting money. He was working in my dad's taxi base then. This is like coming into the like 97 or something now. He was
Hmm.
working in my dad's taxi base, claiming some money from the government as well. When you're younger, you can get that. When you're not, when you're not in a proper job or something. So it came to a point where like all of them consoles came really quick together. The Sega Master System, the Super Nintendo, the PlayStation, the N64, it kind of piled on together. So we had like three consoles at one point, but they were out already, where people kind of maybe moved on to the newer consoles. But we were still there at the point where when my brother got the Super Nintendo. So you gotta understand, Dave, my jump from the Sega Master System was
Hmm.
straight to the Super Nintendo. I was coming
Mm.
home from high school. The first game I seen, my brother goes, I'm going to the second hand shop, I'm gonna get the Super Nintendo. Got a couple of games, came back to the first game I seen. Now note this, I was playing, I'm not sure if you ever played Mortal Kombat, the first one ever on
Oh
the
yeah.
Sega Master System.
Hmm.
So that was one of my favorite fighting games. So you know what it looks like.
Yeah. A
So
little rough.
that's my kind of experience at that point. Yeah, a little rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first game I see on Super Nintendo. What game was it? Killer Instinct.
Oh man.
When I s- when I seen the combinations, the blood, the sound effects, I was like, yo, I go, this is insane. Look at the graphics, look at the sound, look at the punches
Hmm.
you can put together, the combinations. That was incredible. That seeing that jump from like the fighting games to the Super Nintendo, I was like, yo, this is insane. This is next level. Because we always talk about this, David. Like when you like jump to generations,
Hmm.
you see a jump. Nowadays, you don't really see that jump. You kind of see it in different ways, but it's not like
Right.
holy shit.
Yeah.
But back then, you
Exactly.
were seeing great jumps back then, and the Super Nintendo was great. Then followed up, then obviously when it came to that 97, 98, N64.
Hmm.
When I got to play Super Mario 64, when you played on the old Super Nintendo, the 2D Super Mario's World, the Bros Part 3, I'm not sure. Did you ever had the cartridge called Mario All Stars? Was that
Oh
available for
yeah.
you guys? Yeah,
Yes.
that's worldwide then. That was
Hmm.
worldwide thing. It had like 4 or 5 games on it, all the
Yeah.
Mario Brothers games. So that was incredible. From coming from like a Super Mario and a Sonic, back then, jump to like something like Super Mario 64. That was another jump for me. Like they're taking Mario to a different level, 3D platform, and that game was hard. You didn't
Hmm.
have the guides back then. Like we weren't like going on the internet back then. You had to find secret places, secret coins, secret stores, and
Hmm.
have to do certain things. And the N64 was absolutely fantastic for us because that was one of the first consoles where the multiplayer with like 4 controllers, rumble packs, expansion packs, and one of the biggest games, like the biggest multiplayer games for me, it was Mario Kart,
Hmm.
GoldenEye, but the
Yes.
biggest one where the rivals kicked in, the rivals between my brothers and cousins, it was No Mercy,
Yeah.
WWF No Mercy. We used to play a game mode. It was called Iron Man match for one
Hmm.
hour, a limited pins, get the
Hmm.
most pins in 1 hour. And let me tell you, Dave. It used to get so serious. I used to be swearing at my own brother, basically, like swearing at my brother. Your mom's this, your mom's that, or my auntie, my first auntie, because it was like me and my brother. Sorry, me and my cousin versus my brother and my first cousin.
Yeah.
And the problem was, I always had like, I was the best player. My brother was a close second, but the person who was on my team, my cousin, he was kind of the weakest player. You know when you have that one weakest player that they
Yeah.
always fumble the ball or something? He was that. So he always kept fumbling the ball when it came to the like trying to get a W or something. And it
Hmm.
used to get serious. Honestly, swearing at each other, saying this, saying that, you name it. And that game was 1 hour straight talking shit. And
Yeah.
that was probably one of the most incredible experience I've had as a multiplayer game with the
It,
family.
it and it still kind of holds up to this day, even though the graphic wise. But I mean, as far as the what it makes you feel and how you get in there, and yeah, that's a great mode to play. I wish that more
What's
games
your
had that
experience
mode.
with the wrestling games? Like, what was your experience with the wrestling games? I like to see, like, you know, that the WCW versus NWO, the Nitros, Warzone. But what was your experience between them wrestling games in the
Well, the
N64
the uh, the
era?
old I guess it was Super NES or wrestling. The I can't think of the name of it now. It's World Wrestling or something like that. But it was like that it was not. It was not one of the bigger titles or whatever, but it was so much fun. Like you could do like Hawk and Animal and those kind, those kind of
Yeah,
those fighters, and that to me it was a lot of fun. And I played as it got better, too. Some of the later ones, the WWE stuff like that, or
yeah,
WWF at the time, was that were okay, but I still like the older 16-bit wrestling for me. Love
yeah,
that, man. I just
yeah.
a lot of
You
fun.
know, there's a game I played on the Sega Master System. I just don't remember the name, to be honest.
Mhm.
It was a wrestling game. I always say this to Dirt remembers it, but I don't think he remembers the name. The character I remember, this was on the Sega Master System. It could have been on the Genesis as well, because they were doing a lot of cross-gen games or porting games to the
Mhm.
Master System at the time. It was a wrestling game, and the wrestler I remember was Papa Shango, which I think he was the Godfather or something. So it
Mhm.
was Papa Shango, and this wrestling game had like the climbing out of the cage, but I just don't remember what name was it. That was a great game. One of the games my cousins one of the games they had, but I just don't remember the name at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find it. Let's
Yeah,
see.
it had Papa Shango in, and I remember like when it came to the Sega Master System, one of my cousins, he was a drug dealer, you know. So his mate was the main guy. They had the computers, they had the games. So back then there was no phones. My cousin used to
Right.
say, "Listen, at 9 p.m. or 8 p.m., I'll be home. Knock on my door. I'll try to take a game from my mate's house, which they were all drug dealers." He used to come back with Wonder Boy, the wrestling games, and like. But like I said, we just knock on the door. Are you home? Yeah, he's home. I got this game for you. Play it for a week or two, give it back, and that's how we used to get games on the Sega Master System.
Yeah. The wrestling I was thinking of was WCW wrestling was what I played a lot of. But there was Tecmo Wrestle World. That was another big one. I was looking at the wrestling game. We were trying to figure out which one we were talking about. There's like Saturday Night Slam Masters, Wrestle War. Those are all
It's the guy
WWE.
with the white face as well, like white makeup on, Papa Shango.
Hmm. Pro Wrestling Stars, maybe
It could.
from
I need
Sega.
to. I need to look at it. I'm gonna look. I look up. I'm gonna take a look on YouTube one of these days and see what it looks like.
There you go. There you go. But needless to say, wrestling games were a big influence on you. A lot of
Hundred
fun. Yeah,
percent.
yeah. That's cool.
Great
That's
games, and
cool.
I feel like the N64 was kind of the peak, and then when the PlayStation came out, the SmackDown kind of got that fast paced type of gameplay for it, which I like, but I still prefer the old school technical N64 games. Do you know what's
Yeah.
funny though, Dave? If you remember this, you could do some emulations on your PC, your
Oh
Xbox
yes.
Series X, and I played at the time I could do it on retail mode, but I played the GameCube, the WrestleMania 18 and Day of Reckoning, I believe it is. Let me
Yeah,
tell you
that's a good
something.
one.
When he boost them to 4K and put all of the anti-aliasing on, that game plays out no mercy cross with SmackDown. The speed of SmackDown.
Wow.
That game is fun. That's what I think a lot of people just don't know because of the GameCube. What happened with the GameCube?
Hmm.
But that game plays out no mercy, but with the speed of SmackDown. The game's incredible. Honestly, if you want to have a modern day take of like a No Mercy, I
Hmm.
would say that's the closest one you're gonna get.
That sounds cool. Yeah, definitely
WrestleMania
would be
18, yeah,
one to emulate for sure. But yeah, I got the Steam Deck and stuff, and I've got a lot of
yeah.
my son
I
fixes
love
me up
I
pretty
love
good.
for you to take a look at it. WrestleMania 18, and you know what I mean. Just take a look at it
Yeah, I'll do it.
and let me know what you think of it. Like it has the elements of No Mercy, the gameplay,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
the SmackDown speed with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out, man. Definitely am. That sounds cool.
Mm.
So I guess so let's go more current. I guess so
Yeah,
like the so I mean, do you have a PlayStation 5?
nope.
Okay, so you just have the Xbox.
The
So
Series
at
X,
what
yeah.
point did you, I guess, was there a certain event or a certain game or a certain just what made you choose one or the other? Was it could for me it could have been financial where I'm like I can afford to get one or the
It's
other, or was it the ecosystem?
yeah.
You know, I'll
It's
let you
just
speak. Sorry.
no 100%. I was my transition from Sega Dreamcast to the OG Xbox. I was there the early days because they launched in the UK in 2002. That's when they launched in the UK the
Hmm.
OG Xbox. So I found that to be the Dreamcast successor. Like looked at the
Oh yeah.
buttons, looked at the controllers, similar games like MSR was a Project got turned into Project Gotham, Sega GT, Shenmue, obviously that was there as well at the time.
Hmm.
So I felt like that was a transition. So we were there early days with the OG Xbox, and that's how it kind of continued. We did get the PlayStation along the way as a second console. It wasn't a priority at the time. But going back to like the more recent gen,
Hmm.
when it comes to this gen, I'll be honest with you, Dave. You know, I'm an Xbox fan, straight up. I
Yeah.
feel like the Series X is good enough, but like when a good game comes out, that for example, God of War Ragnarok, I
Hmm.
played it on the PlayStation 5. I got one of my friends. Let me borrow the PlayStation for 4 or 5 days. I played the game,
Nice.
enjoyed it. Job's good one. Could I play it on the PlayStation 4? Of course I could have. But
Yeah.
I wanted to play on the best experience. It's just the trans. I feel like there's a couple of games where more games are coming to the PC as well on top of that.
Hmm.
But I'm not fussed about it. I don't need a PlayStation 5 because I know my main ecosystem is the Xbox Series X. And
Yeah.
when it comes to the PlayStation 5, and like I said with the PlayStation 4, it was all about the exclusives only, nothing else.
Hmm.
And the games I want to play on the PlayStation 5 really right now, it probably is Spider Man and Horizon Forbidden West. Them are the only two
Hmm.
games really I want to play. Other than that, it's going to be sitting down collecting dust. But I had a feeling though. I had a feeling PlayStation was going to come up with a new system, the PlayStation 5 Pro. That's when I'll probably jump into the ecosystem if they
Yeah,
do the release that next year,
that'd be
which will
cool.
make
Yeah.
sense because all of the games will get the boosted. They look the best, play the best. So for me, if I do get a PlayStation 5, I could have got one for $150, Dave. I could get
Wow.
them. They're cheap. Some people are selling
Yeah.
them because they need money. People need
Yep.
money or they're either been stolen. Let's keep it
Right.
real. I could get one. It's not a problem getting one. I know it's just gonna sit there. I'm not gonna use it properly, but I think when a PlayStation 5 Pro comes out, there will be a good few games out, and I can play them all at once, hopefully. Or maybe PC will come there because you know Miles Morales is
Hmm.
coming, Horizon's coming to the PC. I can play on the PC if I wanted to. That's not
Yeah.
a problem, but I'm a console gamer.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, I do play a few games on PC here and there and stuff like depending on what's convenient, what room I'm in, and kind of thing. But I
100%.
definitely prefer console play. It's just to me, it's easier. If that makes any sense at all, I don't know. It's just
It feels like a more of a living room experience.
hmm.
Do you know what I
Yep.
mean with the console? It belongs there. I feel like a PC doesn't belong there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess with that so the Sean 786, is that your gamer tag, or is that
That's
wh-
my gamer tag.
okay. Cool. So
That's
everybody knows
my
now.
name. That's my name. Sean's my
Yeah.
name.
Yes. What's the 786? Just some random
The
numbers or
786 is Islamic is.
oh, very good.
Yeah,
Then cool. So and you know, never would have known if I didn't ask.
yeah,
That's kind of like with these interviews. That's just to find out a little bit more about people. I think it's fascinating to know because, like I said, I absolutely love your show, man. To me,
I
it's one of
appreciate
the
it.
best things on YouTube. The shows that you do and the shows that you do together. I really I just enjoy it because it's you guys you don't hold any punches, man. And I don't know if I've said it here, but you can. I want you to be yourself, so you can feel comfortable as it were. So as we get into I guess how you got into YouTube, and what was your influences on that, and then what made you go from watching some YouTube videos to I want to try and get into this. You know,
Mm.
what was your transition there, or what
So
was your?
the
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. The first time I would say I wanted to look for information, if you remember
Hmm.
the 2016 Xbox E3, they revealed the new Xbox One S, and then at the end of the show, the Xbox One X, the console that eats monsters for breakfast, you know. So
Yep.
I wanted to understand like, what is 6 T flops? What is 6 teraflops? What does this mean? So I was kind of that's how I started getting into the YouTube game. Like look for people. What does that equate? What does that equate to? 6 T flops. What does it do? Does it do 4K? Does it do 60? I didn't know. So I started looking on YouTube, and one of the first guys I remember like finding out like, listen, if the machine is teraflops, 12 gigs of RAM, you're looking at 4K 30 FPS. That's what you're looking at. And one of the first videos was Dealer Gaming. Dealer
Yep.
Gaming was one of the first ones, and he was showing Shadow of Mordor. He goes, "This is what you can expect, or maybe slightly better what you're expecting." Because he was comparing it to like on his PC, 4K 30 FPS, and well, obviously the Xbox One X was a bit better than that, but that's what he was one of the first guys. And then
Hmm.
slowly I started to find out that these guys are doing shows on different people's shows, and there's a community out here.
Hmm.
People are talking about Xbox and talking about this. They're talking shit because you find out the console war. Because the only console war I knew was just the local community. If you got a
Hmm.
PlayStation, I got an Xbox. We just talk shit in the playground. Or when it comes to games, Sonic versus Mario,
Hmm.
Zelda versus Banjo. Whatever you want to call it at the time, or Crash Bandicoot. But like finding the community, Dealer was one of the first one understanding the tech about what is the Xbox One X because I was hyped. That was like the one year from there is coming with 4K, is doing this, is doing that. Even though I didn't
Hmm.
understand half of the shit, I still don't really understand half the shit. I will. This console is incredible. Let's talk that shit. I got a 4K TV as well. I got is gonna come in use. Is gonna take full advantage of it. Then I
Hmm.
started to notice that these guys are doing. There's a community out there that are doing podcasting, and there's a guy named Crap Gamer, Xbox
Hmm.
Nation. He was doing a show, and I think Dealer was kind of doing guest appearance or kind of doing it slowly in between at the time. And that's how I got into the community. It was Crap Gamer. Then you get your mooches. Then you get yourself the next gen as well, people. And you started to find out there's a small community that talks about Xbox. They're talking shit. They're giving information, leaking information. Because the first time I heard about the Xbox One X, it was called Project Scorpio. It was Crap Gamer. He's the first person I heard that said the new Xbox Project Scorpio is called the Xbox One X. So obviously these guys have information because they're all in a circle at the time, Dave. I'm not sure when you came into the community, but what year did you come into the community? Would you
Well,
say?
I've been a gamer since the Atari days, and then I've never
Yeah, yeah,
left. So, but yeah, but as far
yeah.
as the probably
The
around
console war
the
community, yeah,
pandemic was probably yeah probably
so
the that was when because I used to be a GameStop manager, so
yeah,
I'd hear
yeah.
that stuff all the time. But probably about the time of when the pandemic started is when I kind of started doing what you're doing, like trying to find somebody
Yeah,
to listen to.
yeah. So obviously you won't understand some of the stories like the background, but I'll talk about it. So when I found these guys around, these guys are talking shit. They know information which I wanted to
Mhm.
know. Then slowly I got in. You find more people in 2017. Dealer started doing his own show, and then Iron Lords was there. But like the Iron Lords podcast at the time, obviously they were small, but because we said Iron Lords podcast, I just felt like, oh, it's not an Xbox podcast. I was looking
Right.
for Xbox, like Xbox Nation, RDX, Real Deal Xbox podcast. I was looking for stuff like that at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to see the guy like Tame Dog and this old school K Meg and these guys, the old school people. And as time was going on, when it came to around about 2017, 2018, I go, I might be okay. I wouldn't mind coming on having a bit of fun, talk a bit of shit. And the first time I tried to get, the first person that who invited me on is the one and only Mr. Boomstick.
Nice.
Mr. Boomstick was one of the was the first guy, not one, was the first guy to invite me on because he came on Crossfire in 2017, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted to be a guest on Crossfire Mooch's show. He came on that, and they kind of kept him on. About 8 months, 10 months later, Boom got the knack for it, and boom, he decided to do a show. I think it was late 2017. I think it was around about late 2017 that Boom started doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I asked Boom, I go, would you mind if I come on? You know, I got myself a microphone, I got myself a laptop. It wasn't a gaming PC at the time, but I got myself a laptop. And Boom at the time, there was no cameras at the time, so I go, Boom, I wouldn't mind coming on the show. A few months later, about 2018, early 2018, I was on the show and I was nervous, Dave. I tell you straight,
Yeah.
I was nervous. That was the year 2018 when Spider-Man was supposed to be coming out, God of War. And the first show I was on then, it had Lord Cognito on there. I don't reckon Lord Cognito will remember that. I'm like, oh, Shaan with some superstars here. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
These guys are awesome. They know the experience. And they said, relax, don't worry about it. And it was a fun show. And I think throughout that year, I was on Boom Show about at least 5 or 6 times, I would say, in 2018.
Nice.
Then, yeah, about 5, 6 times. You go back to 2018. I'll tell you, I did about 5, 6 shows with him. And shout out to Boom for that, for giving me an opportunity and a voice and kind of giving me that bit more confidence. Like, you know, you
Yeah.
can do it. Even though
Yeah.
style of show was different, I
Yeah,
was
but
happy just to talk about it, say certain stuff, and I say I was good. Then I asked one of Next Gen. He was into more of the console war, talking that shit. I
mm-hmm.
managed to get myself on his show late 2018, and this podcast was called the Multiplayer Podcast. Yeah, the Nintendo dudes, had PlayStation dudes, Xbox dudes, and the only thing you need to do is just talk shit and just get a W anyhow, any way possible. Just
Mm-hmm.
anything, just like come up with some dumb shit. And it was a wild show because we used to say some stupid stuff like against each other, so, which I like. Nah, I shouldn't be saying that stuff now, but it is what it is. Because we
Right.
used to say shit, we used to say shit back, and but that was the show. That's the kind of show it was.
Right.
Then over the years, like the late 2018 and 2019, I was more of a regular panel on that show then, and I knew about it because we were all in the same DM, and we were console voting on the show, in the DMs, and Dirt was in the same DM like in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And I always liked Dirt. Dirt was one of them guys like Scram Punk, doing a bit of Scram Punk, doing his own videos. I knew he was an Xbox guy, so I always liked it. And I go, one day I want to do a show with it, like, but his show was like 8 p.m. Eastern. It used to be like 1, 2 p.m. for me. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, one day I'll do a show with him. One day I'll do a show with him. So I kind of knew the like behind the scenes. Never talked to him personally, but behind the scenes I knew him in the same DM. And throughout like 2019, then 2020 came. That's when the reveal of the X when dealer so I don't know if you were there. Dealer revealed I think late 2019 he revealed the specs for the Series X. Was
Mm-hmm.
it 2020? He goes it's gonna be 12 T flops, all of that goodness.
Mm-hmm.
When March came out, I think March, it was around February, I think it was February when they confirmed the specs for the Series X. They always want to do an Xbox show because that show was kind of a bit like PlayStation, a bit of Google Stadia. He had a bit of mixed people in there. He's like, I want
Mm-hmm.
to do a dedicated Xbox show. When the specs came up for the Series X from Xbox, confirmed 12 T flops, you name it. They was like, you know what, I want to do a show, impromptu show. He goes, who can I get? Who can I find? This now, no, this was like 12:30, 1 p.m., 1 a.m. in the morning for me.
Mm-hmm.
There goes, I need the Xbox guy. Let me hit this person up. Hit this person up. Then he goes, that guy named Shaan. Yeah, I seen him on shows. He loves talking that shit. He's an Xbox fan. Let me ask him. I was in bed with my wife and I looked at it. I was off the next day as well. Looked at it, I go, you know what? This is the opportunity. News just came out. Xbox is 12 T flops. We're gonna talk that shit. I'll hop
Nice.
on. That's the first episode of WBG. Like in Feb, I think it was Feb or March. We went there. First episode. There was me, the Hyperfan Gaming Devon,
Mm-hmm.
Tsunami, and R&B. I believe there was five of us at the time.
Mm-hmm.
The show we just hit it off. That for his first show, like I know he was doing Scrum Punks, but his first show, his numbers, he was hitting like 60 plus live viewers at the time, where he was only getting 20, 15
Yeah.
to 20. We had a great show. And I personally, that Dave, I'm sure you heard the story, you might have heard bits and bats. I was like, that was a fantastic show. It was a great show. We had a lot of fun. Don't
Mm-hmm.
worry about it. They asked me to be a permanent member. I go, listen, I'm sorry, I can't be a permanent member. I go, it's too late for me. But when it's time to time, when it's a good day, when I'm off, I'll come on as a guest. And I think that like between them guys, they were saying like in the DMs, like, "Oh, we need you, we need you." I go, listen, it's too late for me. I'm not doing 8 p.m. Eastern. They go, we can bring it down. I go, what time? I go, what's the earliest you can bring it down to there? I said, and with the people in the group chat, he goes, I could do 6 p.m., which you couldn't do at the time. He goes, I could do 6 p.m. I got cool. Then we put it to 6:30 p.m. And bro, that's it. That's when I felt like I got into my bag then. When I
Yeah.
was on these other podcasts, there was more screaming, more this, more that, talking shit. But I felt like with WBG, I found myself. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Yeah.
felt like I got into the where I'm supposed to be, and this was meant to be like this. I found that confidence, like, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
can do this on like without screaming, without doing this, without doing that. You can do it. You can do this. You can talk shit, have fun, put on a great show, and build my craft. As time goes on, you know, Dave, when you do more podcasting, you get more experience, more comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
a more of a balanced show where people are not interrupting you, but actually like giving you time, 2 minutes, 3 minutes to talk about the topic.
Mm-hmm.
And as time went on, that's when I became more confident in myself, and I was in a good place with WBG. I felt like I'm happy with this show. This show, WBG, I'm happy with it. One show a week, I'm good with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
have to tell you, not to interrupt, but and
yeah,
some people that may not know, WB, we bleed green, is what that stands for, and Xbox colors are green, and so are the monarchies on strip on the show today are green now, and representation for that. But yeah, I tell you, you and Dirt and the rest of the panel, you guys have a really good rapport. I mean, it's really good. You know, it's like a you can tell it's a friendship, and you have respect for each other. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of times when you know you get on each other, but this is kind of like brothers. You
yeah.
know, in kind of way. It's playful but still friendly, and it's and you don't hold any punches, and that's what I love. It's not a it's if somebody has a stupid take from the PlayStation side, you guys will absolutely rip them apart, and it's hilarious. And to them, they're like, all as serious as they can be. Kind of like, oh, this is Xbox is destroying the gaming, and I'm like, are you stupid? Probably the
Mm,
best thing that's happened to
yeah,
gaming.
100%.
And and I love the show, and hopefully it'll go on forever.
Transition.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome.
I'm
So
happy. Uh,
go ahead.
no, 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 go for it. Go on. What do you want to ask?
And I was just gonna say, so from there, what made you decide to? Because I know Dirt does his one man show sometimes, and then you guys do a show together. So how did that come about?
So, like, throughout, like, 2020, 2021, I would say, like, whilst I talked about this behind the scene on last TTS video. I felt like,
Hmm.
I'm just good at the side. With my voice from the UK, different style of voice. I'm
Hmm.
happy where I'm at. But when time was going on, like with WBG, getting a bit of confidence, and then like came to a point where I go like, damn, no, this was funny though. This was funny when they decided to do live stream for events like Xbox event, Game Awards, like the big shows.
Hmm.
We were just like kind of practicing with OBS and Streamlabs, and it was on a Friday. He was doing it always with my time zone. He was off, and he did a test show. He was getting 120 people at a time, just out of the blue. Click the button live, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Let's test the stream. Make sure the stream looks good for the live event that's coming Sunday for the Xbox E3 or something at the time. And even pulling the numbers, I could do. It's not bad. You might want to do a show like here and there. And he goes, I don't know, man, like this. And I go, and he goes, why don't you do? I think he said, why don't you do? I said, he goes, why don't you do one? I go, we'll see, we'll see. Then I did one or two test runs with some people, and then I
Mm-hmm.
decided I go, there, I might just do it. Like I go, Friday might be good. It's a split between Monday to Friday, because we won't do that one man shows at the time. So it's split to
Right.
Monday to Friday. There's a big enough gap, so it's not cross. It's not like conflict. There's no conflict then when it comes to the show, because it could be like different news at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I like announced it. I think I announced it in 2021, maybe mid 2021 or something. That I'm gonna do TTS or something. I'm gonna do a podcast and call it like talk that shit or something. He goes, yeah, that was like TTS, TTS. That's what, because that's my phrase that I said. It's time to talk that shit.
Mm-hmm.
He goes TTS, TTS, like in a shorter way, like with abbreviations. I go, yeah. I go, yeah, TTS Xbox Gaming Podcast, and that's how that came across, like TTS Xbox Podcast on Fridays. And the times I was doing it was probably same as breakfast with Boom's time, 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Eastern, 3 p.m. because it would work. That's what could work for me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting people from the community, because I told you about this. I didn't want the same people on WBG, even though we kind of started like that. Devon's there, Joey, Tsunami at the
Mm-hmm.
time. So, but I didn't want the same podcast. I wanted different opinions or like a different style of podcast. So I was getting a couple of guys I knew in the community who I knew that I played games with come on, but like I said, the time was difficult for them. They were either working or it was too early for them.
Right.
Then like they did a few episodes with me as time was going like 20, like 25, 35 episodes in, kind of like balancing with two, three people. There goes I'm kind of available on Fridays, and I could do it most of the times. I can do it. I said to him, I go, my Fridays, I go, if you can be flexible, fair play, we could do it. We did a show, and as time was going on, like in between, even though I was getting like some people on like guest or some of the homies from WBG, I
Mm-hmm.
felt like the two-man show was a better approach, because we were
Yeah.
bouncing off each other better. I felt like it was controlled better. When I want to set something up, I could set up and put it on the screen and just talk shit. And he
Yeah.
kind of like, he would know what I'm doing. When it comes to a setup, he would understand what I'm gonna do. And there was like, you don't need to like get the same people, but get different people. You don't need to make it a two-man show. I can know I feel like we can make it a two-man show. We can carry a show for 2 hours or maybe more. We can do it. And overall, it'll make us better podcasters, how to make a longer show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that came across. Like I was doing a two-man show, invited someone, and I felt like no, it doesn't fit. It's just not right. Then I decided, you're there, it's a two-man show. I wanted a two-man show. We can do this. Don't worry about it. And that's how the show came across, that TTS, me and Dit. And
Mm-hmm.
since then, obviously, a lot of people have been supporting, showing support. I've been doing, and my content has slowed down, but I'll get back to that once my house is sorted. But
Yeah.
overall, honestly, like with TTS, I never ever expected to be where it is right now, especially like me as the host and what we do, console warding, talking that shit, having fun. Never expected it to be success, and within my subscriber count, I would say.
Oh, it's a huge success, I would think. I think I see it as one. I mean, it's and like I said, the chemistry between you and Dirt is priceless. You guys are perfectly play off each other, and that's not a braggart, a boast, or a fluffing somebody up. You guys were great together, and that's why I enjoy watching it. Now, what
I appreciate it.
made you? Because usually at the end of your show, the talk that shit, you like the last 30 minutes or 15 minutes of the show, you'll just throw out the link, and you'll be like,
Yeah.
"Come on!" And you set a timer. Where did that come from? And then and
Ah,
has it ever gone crazy?
it has gone crazy at times where people have said funny things, and people around the world don't understand certain words where it might be racist in different, like because
Right.
if they're from different parts of the country, which is understandable. I don't know
Yeah.
certain words, and when I say it, or if they say something, I'll correct him. Don't say it in this way, or he'll correct me. Like, or this kind of
Hmm.
word could be a bit offensive in in the United States or in different countries. But rocking with the chat, man, honestly, I don't remember what episode I started doing. I need to take a look at it. But I felt
Hmm.
like rocking with the chat. I felt like just one day I just did it. Drop the link in the chat. Guys, who wants to talk shit? Come in, let's talk shit. And that slowly evolved into something like, you know what, I can make this into a segment
Hmm.
where at the time when we were doing it, we felt like people were staying on too long, 5 minutes, 6, 7, 8 minutes. And you know, where people are gun shy. You know, you
Hmm.
drop the link in the chat, you're lucky to get 2 people at a time. Some
Yeah.
people were coming on, and shout out to Other Zinc. Other Zinc was one of them guys that like always came on and trying to push people on, like encourage people. Listen, guys, come on, guys, let's have a chat. Come on, talk. You got something to say, which everybody has a voice.
Yeah.
You know, people listen to us, Dave, on podcasts and who's in the chat. They help us build the chat, engage with us,
Hmm.
and I'm sure like they have something to say. And I always wanted to hear the people in the chat that support us have something to say. If you got, because they could have some great points where we may not like might have missed out or something may not understand, or they can give us a great, but like, listen, Shaan, imagine this, or this what this person or this what this company has done back in the days, and give us information that we didn't know.
Hmm.
And that's how Rocking with the Chat evolved, like evolved into something like, you know what, this is a good segment. Let's put an intro to it. Let's make it a 2 minute countdown where people were sitting on too long. So it got to a point where, well, this is part of the show. I was getting people on, people were saying on too long. So we got a time. I go there, I got a plan. Because they were saying people are saying on a bit too long and people may be waiting or something. I got a plan. Next week I came with the timer. It
Nice.
worked. 2 minutes, two
Yeah.
and a half minutes, people are off, 4 or 5 people. And I've gotta appreciate the people that support us because they made that segment become reality, make
Oh
it
yeah.
become something. Because without them, that segment is dog shit. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. If it weren't for like other Zane, Carl Weeb, yourself, you start coming on when you get time. Javier, like all of these boys in the chat coming on and giving the confidence to other people in the chat, like, come on, talk your shit. Like, you got something to say. You got 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Let's go. You want to have a lot of fun. You want to talk about something that's maybe frustrating you, or you want to talk about a game like Starfield or Motorsport. Let's go. And without them, that segment would be dog shit.
Yeah. And I love the segment. I'm glad that you do it. And it, like I said, there's, it could be, it's a crapshoot, really,
Yeah.
And it could be whatever subject they want to talk about, and most and people that, even if they're on their phone, sometimes you get people like they'll go out to their car and they're in their car and stuff,
Yeah, it's
and
funny.
we'll do it and stuff. And so
You know, Dave,
and
I
it's,
know I know you tried it at one time as well. I'm
I
not sure if you
did,
continue, and because you were supposed to do it for the members, but it was an open show.
yeah,
And I was like laughing. I go, yeah, go for it, Dave, because like Dave, you never know. Everybody's got different audiences,
hmm,
and you might find that voice right. You know what, this guy is good. You might want him on a show. You might want to do a second show. Who knows?
yeah,
So there's always someone in the community that's supporting us, and I feel like we should show that appreciation. Like, these guys are coming out to watch us,
yeah,
supporting us, making the show lively. Without them, we ain't shit. And always,
well,
I will never forget that. Like, I appreciate people actually rocking out with me and powering the show. Give me the opportunity because you get some funny guys in the chat that say
hmm,
something and it just makes the show much better.
hmm,
Or give us information, or if it's breaking news, because when you
that
run in the
happens,
show, we don't really look at Twitter. We don't really look at it as much as we can't because we run in the show.
right,
So I love the people in the chat that come by, rock out with us. Even the female gamers, we got like Xena, we got Dia 45, and we got more people. I want more women gaming as well, gamers, to come on the show and
hmm,
voice, because I feel like we are lacking in that department.
yeah, agreed,
As part, there's a few I've noticed now. There's been in between, but I like to hear more voices from the. And I'm sure you might have heard them or not, but like Dia 45 and Xena, I love it when they come on, and I love it when they talk that shit because it's not only boys doing it;
yeah,
it's girls and women doing it as well. And I
yes,
love it when they come on the show and they're actually talking shit or saying some of the catchphrases like or like TTS or something.
yeah,
I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Honestly,
yeah. It is great, and like you said, man, you have the community, and it's fun. It's when it
it's
comes
fun.
down to it, it's fun and it's entertaining. but it's and it's never meant to be hurtful. I mean, there's because if you can't joke and you can't laugh, man, life is so much more miserable if you can't do
Mm,
those things. And it kind of and it's a it's a great community, and I think you guys are a great part of it. And I love what you do, and hopefully you will continue to grow and grow. And I have a feeling that you over especially as maybe in the future the tide starts to turn toward
mm,
Microsoft's favor, that you're going to get even a bigger audience and more of a slanderous appeal.
mm. You see, Dave, it's awesome to see like the Xbox community more stronger than ever. To be honest,
Mhm.
I feel like on Twitter, such as yourself coming in the pandemic as well, finding the community, I'm loving it. Honestly, like there's more and more people who found us in the community. Like you said like I came in the pandemic and seen what was happening. Like understand there's a community out there. They're all having fun. I want to voice my opinion as well and have fun. And I love seeing guys like you, fun Mav as well. There's so many guys coming in now, and I love it. I love the community. It's really strong right now. The people like on Twitter, even in the chat, like the community is really strong. Like last gen, like 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019, I felt like the PlayStation guys were just having like the ponies. They were just having fun
Mhm.
because we didn't have nothing. Like we couldn't fight back. Like they're just having fun. But this gen, it's a different ball game. They're fighting, but fire versus fire is coming right now. So it's
Mhm.
awesome. I love the community, and I love like you coming on the scene, being on boomsticks as well. You got your own Outbreak gamers, and I just love seeing them real dudes, real guys, or real girls as well. Just
Mhm.
being genuine people, especially Xbox fans as well. I love seeing it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Sean, it's awesome having you on today and getting to know more about you and your channel. As we start to wrap things up, I kind of I do want to ask a question. Ask everybody, and you can have more than one answer. That's fine.
Mm.
So what game is coming out? It's not out yet. Are you most looking forward to?
There's two, and the reason why there's multiple, but I'll stick to two games right now.
That's fine.
As of right now, what we know, what's coming out, what's been on the slate, what's been
Hmm.
announced. Next year is gonna be. I'm hoping. Well, hopefully it makes it next year. Hellblade 2.
Oh yeah.
That first game was incredible. When I got to play on the when it came to the Xbox platform, I heard people talking about it. I seen like it's winning BAFTAs, British awards, all these crazy things. Do you know what? Let me buy this game. Let me play this game. When it came to the Xbox in 2018, I believe. Was it 2017? I caught it 2018, I think it came in. Got to play. I go, what an experience for a small team. What they did with the budget. I go, this game is incredible. I love the voices. I love the music. The combat was good, not but it's understandable for the size of the team. But I just love the story in that game. The way it comes to the end of that game, I'm like, yo, this is a great game, great
Hmm.
experience. And not many games that will go towards mental health. Actually go towards that. And
Right.
this is like the only few that really do it. And they're pushing that with Hellblade 2. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with that game. How can they make that experience more crazier than it was last time? When you had, I'm sure you played it with headphones. The
Hmm.
voices incredible. I can't wait to take it to the next level in every department. And even though I know it's a first party game right now, I want to see this team under like Microsoft, money behind it, resources behind it, manpower, have their own studio which they got right now, built from the ground up, their own mocap studio, everything, you name it. I want to see the full potential of this team, and that's one of the teams I'm looking forward to. Hellblade 2, and Playground Games. I believe that's probably one of the best studios. That's gonna be. I believe Playground Games will be the best studio this generation. People will say Playground Games will be the best studio this generation when Fable comes out, because the racing games they got it on lockdown.
Hmm.
You can't beat them. Let's keep it real. 90 plus rated games. People say, "Oh, they're only good for making racing games." You seen the Fable in-game trailer.
Hmm.
That's looking next level. Trust me, I actually do believe they will be the number one studio this gen. Fable.
I agree with you. I agree. So yeah, Fable, man, and to be honest with you, the British humor, I love it. Absolutely love it.
I
So
think that's why I might be a bit biased because they are both UK studios.
it's okay. But oh, I see it now. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding.
I just
Sean,
realized.
thank you so much for being on today, man. You were absolutely awesome, and I really appreciate your time. Do me a favor and tell everybody where they can find you and how they can get a hold of you if they want to reach out to you, and where they can make sure they don't miss those great shows that you're on.
Yeah, man. Listen, first of all, appreciate you for that for this interview. I love the show and I love what you're doing. And I love, like I said, I love genuine people. If you were full of shit, if other people are full of shit, I don't fuck with them. Straight up, I don't mess with people like that. You're a genuine
Thank you, sir.
person and I love it. So keep doing what you're doing and let's say keep TTS. So you can find me on my show. It's Sean's. My channel's called Sean 786, and I'm the host of TTS Xbox podcast on Fridays. The target time is 1 p.m. Eastern, but there's gonna be a few changes because Dirt's got some work schedules going on at the moment, so it might have to be a later show. But hopefully we'll
Hmm.
figure it out. It'll be a weekly basis, and obviously I do a show on Monday. My brother Dirt Gritty channel, WBG Xbox podcast at 6 p.m. Eastern, and we have a lot of fun. The homies are on there, and that's where you can find me on YouTube, WBG and TTS. And let me tell you something, guys. If you're a pony, I'm not gonna say PlayStation 5. If you're a pony, do not come to WBG or TTS because you're not welcome there.
You'll get sniped, that's for sure.
You get sniped. We don't play that shit over there.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Again, thank you so much for being here today. This is awesome. All the links to all his the shows and both YouTube channels we're going to put in the description below, and also and if you're listening to this later on iTunes or iHeartRadio or on Spotify, this is also going to be in the description below. So please do yourself a favor and go check out Sean's shows. Make sure when you're on the channel, you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you do not miss because you don't want to miss these shows. They are absolutely they get thousands of people watching their shows live, and it is absolutely awesome. So funny, and I guarantee you're going to get something out of it, and you will definitely enjoy it, especially if you're an Xbox fan. Just saying. Sean,
I
thank you
appreciate
so
that.
much for being here, man. And
Thank
thanks
you.
everybody for joining us here at Outbreak Gamers.
Game over.